Of course, I'll be taking the challenge, and it's such a unique way to get people to see our community, and through activities, physical activities, getting outside. It's an opportunity to strive for something, and the million minutes really sets that target out there. So I think it's achievable, and I think our community's up to it. So I'm a runner, and I've been running now for, I think, 18 years. And my favorite trail is the 12 Mile Creek. It gives me a lot of opportunity to be around green, nature, forest, water, and it's just a different, it's a different environment. And so I find running for myself is a very mental and physical experience. It gives me just time to check out of life in terms of the hectic pace that we live, and allows me to just become more centered. And so that's my thing. I play hockey, but I haven't been on skates in almost 2 years. So it'll be funny seeing me back on skates, but pair of running shoes, you can go wherever you want here on the trails, and that's what I love to do. One of the ones that I find to be the most scenic, it'd be the Welland Canal Trail. And there's been a lot of upgrades to that trail that largely goes from, in our community, you can go right up to Thorold and right down into Lock One, into the entrance to the Welland Canal. And Jeff, it's, there's a lot of flat spaces on that trail where you can just glide along, and you don't have to worry. There's a couple of places where you do have to go up, much like the ships would have to go up some of the where the locks are located. But it's a trail that's been invested in. This year, Jeff, we are partnering with the Seaway, so there's some sections of it that are being closed because we're widening it, because we recognize how popular it is. So a trail like that is a popular one. We just invested in the resurfacing of Burgoyne Woods. So for those of you who might be familiar with Burgoyne Woods, it's in the heart of our city. It's a naturalized area, a lot of forest, but there's a road that goes in, and there's a loop inside the park that's been completely paved, and it's smooth. It's a great location for people who, it's all shaded. So again, what I find, Jeff, is there's a lot of people who just who go in, they walk the loop, they run the loop, they're in their wheelchair, and they use the loop on the wheelchair. So those places are really accessible for everybody, and we're investing more into our parks. Rennie Park is another one where we put dollars into hard surface materials that allow people of all mobilities to be able to walk through the JC Park. So the connection from JC Park into Port Dalhousie is largely now a hard surface connection. So you can park at JC, and you can go across that magnificent bridge that goes across Martindale Pond and goes into Port Dalhousie, and you're largely going to be on hard surface. So it does allow you to use a mobility device, or if you're in a wheelchair, it does allow for that multimodal, I'll call it, ways of moving about those areas. So we're more conscious of it than we were in previous years. And it's because of our accessibility committee, who's really pushing us as a community to create surfaces, create spaces that are for all abilities. Important thing for me about this event is really showing the inclusivity of our community and being a champion, and using the position of mayor as a way to amplify the importance of creating space for everybody of all abilities. And for those in the community that have accessibility issues, they're able to see a mayor championing that our community is an inclusive community. And that's been my goal with council, is looking at what inclusivity means, looking at what diversity means. And oftentimes we look at how we see our community through our own lens. But when we look at it through the accessibility committee's lens, when we look at through people who have mobility issues, they're in a wheelchair, or they're even their steps, they may not use a mobility device, but their ability to step up into a step or a curb is compromised because something that has happened physically with them. And being a champion allows me to use my voice to talk more broadly about what inclusivity looks like, and what does a community that is accessible for all look like. And the more that we talk about it, the more that we show examples of playgrounds that are being designed for kids of all abilities, so that a child in a wheelchair can actually go into and immerse themselves into a playground, instead of standing on the or sitting on the being on the outside of the playground and watching the kids move around. They can now be immersed inside the playground experience. That wasn't part of our playground approach 10 years ago. And Stuart Green, who's with our Parks and Rec community, he's an amazing employee of the city. He does have a son who has mobility issues. So he was able to bring that to and we've become one of the leading communities in Niagara to build all accessible, inclusive playgrounds. And it makes a difference. Like when you go to these playgrounds, Jeff, it makes a difference. And I've had parents say, I never thought my child would be able to be immersed in a playground, and the smiles on their faces as their friends are moving about the same play structures that they're on, makes so much of a difference when we talk about inclusivity and what inclusivity looks like. And so that's the kind of what I hope those discussions will come out of this project as well. Yeah, sledge hockey wasn't very good. I'm not good playing hockey anyway. I thought, okay, so let's see what I can do with sledge hockey. And it was Kevin Rempel, who is here in I think Lincoln, and just such a strong voice for participation in Parasport and sledge hockey. And so, as part of it, our Meridian Center here in St. Catharines, our sports facility, does have the ability to remove the players' bench the boards, and put in see-through boards. And the design of the Meridian Center board system was, it's even designed so that the ice comes right up to the doorway, so that those playing sledge hockey can go in and out. So I know Port Colborne has it, and St. Catharines has it, and the new Canada Games Park that's being built up by Brock University, that will have it as well. So we've got some significant arenas here in our community to do sledge hockey, and I'm looking forward to trying it again. Hopefully I'll be better than the first time. Parasport, I would like to try so I played volleyball up and through to university, and I would like to do the seated volleyball, and just to see the dynamic of the game and how that's played. My daughter played travel volleyball for a number of years, just till a few years ago, and doing it with her to see from the difference in the game, but also the similarities. That would be another one I would be looking forward to try. All right, 2-minute speech for that one.
Well, or less.
I would honestly, Jeff, the Million Moments Activity Challenge is an opportunity for all of us in our community to come together, to encourage, to participate, and to talk about inclusivity around all abilities. And what does that look like as we build dynamic communities? We are very fortunate to live in, I believe, one of the most beautiful places in our country. We're surrounded by 2 bodies of water. We have the Welland Canal that runs through, it's the spine that runs through our community. We're surrounded by farmland, and there's so much green space within St. Catharines. Exploring that over the month of June, and really talking about, and also listening to, what does accessibility for all look like? And the Million Moments Activity Challenge is one that we can all participate in, But what I'm asking our community to also do is think while you're participating in that challenge, what it would be like if you were in a wheelchair, what it would be like if you had mobility issues, what would it be like if you were compromised in a way that prohibited you from fully participating in that activity? And then what can we do as a city to remove those barriers of participation? So this is an opportunity for us to reach for that challenge and that goal, and at the same time, listen and learn so that when we finish the goal, we'll have a better insight into how we can build a community that's accessible for all. If that's the achievement that comes out of this as we reach that challenge, I honestly think we'll build a better community for everybody. A great discussion about accessibility, and one of the areas that I think our community can see what accessibility looks like is our beaches. And so at Lakeside Park, we not only have the ability for people to get close to the sand that's adjacent to the water, we now have mobility mats, which allow people with mobility challenges to actually now touch the water. And we've had the mobility mats there for a couple of years now. And what it's done for me is, again, it shows me when I see people who are bringing in friends and family members that have mobility issues, they're able to use that mat just to see that person touch that water with either their hands or their feet, or just to be in the water, even if they're in their wheelchair, just to see the smile. That to me is what crystallizes the concept of what accessibility looks like and feels like and should be about. So I just want people to understand that when they are exploring St. Catharines, heading into our beaches at Lakeside Park, you'll see firsthand what it is that we're investing in so that people can actually touch something as beautiful as Lake Ontario.